everyone, I'm Stacy from Stacy's Kitchen and welcome to DeliDeli, or as we like to call it, Delicious Delicacies. And on today's episode I'll be doing kurma, my take on kurma. As you can see, I have all my ingredients prepped and waiting. So I'm going to start with the flour mixture first. So as I said before, we're going to start with the flour mixture. So I have my butter, some condensed milk, my powdered milk, and my flour, and I'm just incorporating all of these. So you can also use your fingers, but I'm using a fork for now. I also added a bit of salt into the mixture, so you have to have a little bit of salt as well. So for the sweetening, I use the condensed milk because we have to coat this kurma with sugar as well too. Alright, so I'm going to put a pinch of the elaichi powder, also some ginger powder, and I'm also adding some fresh ginger to my mixture. So I'm just pressing in all the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to be adding some water to just bring the dough together. So it's basically like a pastry dough, and you could use a fork, well, this size, to actually incorporate the stuff like this. So it gets nice and crumbly. And now I'm going to be adding the water to bring it together. Before that, I'm just going to pour a little bit of my vanilla essence and also some nutmeg essence. So sometimes instead of using the powder, you can use the liquid. You can also put a touch of the cardamom essence. So we blend it in again. And just to mention, the full recipe will be posted, and I would really like you guys to try the recipe. Alright, so time to add some water. So slowly but surely we're going to add. So now it's time to get my fingers dirty. In that way you're kind of sure about the consistency that you're looking for. I'm just going to add a little bit more water, and we're going to bring this together. Also guys, you can use a mixer if you want. So when this is finished, I'm just going to set it aside for maybe 2 minutes. Start to heat my oil, and then we can start frying our kurma. It's as easy as that. And you know, a long time when you're kneading flour, my mother used to say, make sure around your bowl clean. So we're making sure we clean this bowl. So you see how easy that was? And look at this lovely dough. Look at that. It's not too sticky, it's not too hard. But with kurma, depending on how soft or hard you want your kurma, you could feel the texture and knead accordingly. Alright, so we have a lovely dough there. I'm going to let it set for about, let's say about 3 minutes, and we're going to start heating our oil. Okay, so time to roll out our kurma dough. So we're doing our first set. I believe this amount that I'm doing could give you like about 100 pieces, depending on how thin or how thick you want your kurma. Alright, so I'm not doing mine's very thin, maybe about 1/2 inch thick. So I'm just going to cut this up now. Okay, so time to cut our pieces. So I'm trying to keep it as authentic as possible looking. Alright, so we have our little kurma pieces. Okay, so time to fry our kurma pieces. So I have it on medium heat, and you have to put enough oil to cover the kurma. So you want a nice golden brown color. You can adjust your heat, and my pieces are thin, so they should cook pretty fast. So a good point to note is that when it comes up to the top, basically, you know that it's ready to, well, either come out or turn up just a little bit again, but we're looking for a golden brown consistency. Right, so it's coming along nicely. Getting some lovely color there. So because the dough is basically like a pastry, you'll find some of the kurma may open out, some will stay normal. But I mean, it's all good because we want that flaky texture. Alright, so we're going to leave it for like 3 to 5 minutes, if so much, just to get the color that we're looking for. And then we're going to be adding our sugar syrup to that. Okay, so time to coat our lovely kurma pieces. Look at that, how cute, and the texture is just perfect. So I'm going to put a quarter cup of water in my pan. So I added a few stalks of cinnamon just for a little flavor. And now I'm going to put quarter cup of sugar. I'm using white sugar. And I'm going to bring this to a boil. So I'm looking for a very thick consistency. So this has to boil up for about 5 to 10 minutes, right? And I'm just going to put it on a low heat to continue boiling. I'm also going to add a tiny bay leaf, again for the aromatics. And also, guys, to your kurma, you could add powdered sugar as well. But I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, the traditional way. So I'm just going to caramelize my sugar to a certain point. And one way to test the consistency of the sugar, so you see it's still sort of watery. We want it to get those strings eventually. So we're not seeing those as yet, so we know it's not ready. Alright, so our sugar is ready. Look at that, how lovely. So we're pouring that into here. Just gonna give that a toss. Look at that, nice and sugary. guys, so there you have it. Oh my god, this kurma is to die for. So I'm gonna do a little taste test. Ooh, look at that. That's perfect. I have to pat myself on the shoulder. Alright guys, so you have to try this recipe, and thank you so much for looking on, and join me again for another episode of DeliDeli or Delicious Delicacies.